can't see me like this.
Ethan, I'm not leaving you.
Ethan was only 26, and he had everything to live for. A good heart, big dreams, and one person he loved more than anything. Her name was Lily. They had been together for 3 years, and everyone believed they would get married soon. But life had other plans. One afternoon, Ethan collapsed at work. He thought it was stress, maybe exhaustion, maybe nothing serious, but after the tests, the doctor sat down quietly and said words that changed everything. Cancer, aggressive. Treatment had to begin immediately. Ethan felt the room spin, not because he was afraid to die, but because of Lily. He loved her too much to let her suffer with him. So he made a decision. He stopped answering her calls, stopped replying to messages. He told her he needed space, that he wasn't ready for marriage, that she deserved better. Every lie broke his own heart. Meanwhile, he checked into the hospital alone. Chemotherapy started. His hair began to fall, his body grew weaker, but the pain inside was losing Lily. Every night, he looked at her picture and whispered, "I'm sorry." Then one evening, a nurse walked into his room, smiling, and said softly, "You have a visitor." Ethan looked confused, because no one knew he was there. Then the door opened, and Lily walked in, tears in her eyes, holding flowers, and something else behind her back. Ethan froze, because he knew nothing would ever be the same again. Continue. Part 2.
I want to spend forever with you. Even now, especially now.
Ethan could
Will you
not
marry
believe
me?
what he was seeing. Lily was standing in the doorway, tears in her eyes, flowers in her hands, and a smile he thought he had lost forever. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The room was silent, except for the sound of the heart monitor. Then, Lily walked closer, slowly, carefully, as if every step mattered. Ethan looked away, ashamed, weak, broken. "You shouldn't be here," he whispered. Lily stopped in front of him. "And why not?" she asked softly. He shook his head. "Because you deserve better." She placed the flowers beside his bed, then knelt down in front of him. "No," she said. "I deserve the truth." Ethan's eyes filled with tears. "I was trying to protect you." Lily reached for his hand. "You don't protect someone by breaking their heart." He had no answer, because she was right. For weeks he had suffered alone, thinking love meant letting go. But Lily had come back to prove love meant staying. She opened the small bag she had carried in. Ethan looked confused. Then she pulled out something small and silver, a ring box. His breathing stopped. "Lily," she smiled through tears, "you said you couldn't marry me, so I decided I'd ask you first." Ethan began to cry, not from fear, not from pain, but from love. The nurse at the door covered her mouth. Even she was crying now. Lily held the ring in her shaking hands. "Ethan Carter, will you marry me?" He laughed and cried at the same time. "Yes, yes, I will." The room filled with emotion. And what happened next, no one in that hospital would ever forget. Part 3.
You may kiss the bride.
You saved
Within an
my
hour,
life.
the hospital room had changed. What once felt cold now felt full of life. Nurses brought flowers. A doctor adjusted the lights. Someone found white sheets and placed them neatly around the room. Even the patients in nearby rooms were smiling. Lily stood beside Ethan's bed, holding his hand tightly. She wore no wedding dress, no expensive jewelry, no grand decorations. But in that moment, she had never looked more beautiful. A small pastor from the hospital chapel arrived. He opened his book and smiled warmly. Ethan still looked weak, but for the first time in months, his eyes were full of light. The ceremony began. Every word felt deeper because nothing was guaranteed. Every promise mattered more because they knew how fragile life could be. When the pastor said, "You may kiss the bride," the room burst into applause. Nurses wiped tears from their faces. Even the doctor smiled. Ethan kissed Lily gently and whispered, "You saved me." She shook her head. "No, we saved each other." Days passed, then weeks. Treatment continued. Some days were painful, some nights were hard, but Ethan was no longer alone. Lily stayed beside him through everything, every appointment, every fear, every tear. And slowly, something incredible happened. The treatment began to work. The doctors were surprised, then hopeful. then certain. The cancer was shrinking. Month after month, Ethan grew stronger. His smile returned, his strength returned, his future returned. 1 year later, Ethan walked out of the hospital doors, holding Lily's hand. Healthy, alive, free. They stood in the sunlight and looked at each other, remembering the room where they had promised forever. Years later, people still talked about that hospital wedding, not because it was fancy, not because it was planned, but because it was real. Because true love doesn't wait for perfect moments, it creates them. If this story touched your heart, leave a like. And tell me in the comments, do you believe true love still exists?